The story begins in a Cold War between two powerful countries called Ostania and Westalis. In this era, spies and assassins are the evil necessities of the world. The two countries constantly try to weaken and meddle in the political affairs of each other. The tension between the two countries escalated to the breaking point when a diplomat of Westalis, Africa, was assassinated. Immediately, the government of Westalis points a finger at the far-right party of the Ostania, who always try to take over and attack Westalis. The higher-ups of the Westalis feel that they have no choice but to preemptively act to prevent a full-out war. Westalis asks their best agent, named Twilight, to stop the war before it starts. Twilight is one of the best spies in the entire world. Twilight's skills are unparalleled. He is the man with 1,000 faces, mastering the art of combat and stopping countless disasters. Most important of all, he put his life on the line to successfully complete his missions and nations. As soon as he finishes a mission, he burns all his ties, including all documents that link him to the past, then heads out to the next mission. By dedicating his entire personal life to being a spy, he has to give up his real name and family life. But it is the choice he is willing to accept. In his next mission, Twilight must head to the city of Berlin. The mission is to target a member of the National Equality Party named Donovan Desmond, who has been secretly planning to create conflicts between Westalis and Ostania. To do this, he must get close to Donovan Desmond, who is very reclusive by nature. His only social appearances are at a private academy for elites, where his two sons attend. Twilight needs to get married, have a child, and make sure the child gets into the same school as Desmond's son. By using the child, he could keep track of Desmond's activities. Twilight acquires a child under the fake identity of Lloyd Forger, who is a psychiatrist. Twilight then gets himself a house for his soon-to-be family. To acquire a child, Lloyd heads straight to the orphanage. He chose an underground orphanage to avoid going on the record with the government. Because of that, the children at this orphanage are in terrible condition. Even the caretaker is drunk on duty. For the success of the mission, Lloyd requests the smartest kid, who is at least 6 years old. So the caretaker takes him to a little girl named Anya. At first, Lloyd does not believe that Anya will be up to the task. But, to Lloyd's surprise, Anya impresses him. She solves a crossword puzzle to show him how smart she is. Lloyd immediately adopts Anya. Little did he know, Anya was a test subject in an experiment that enabled her telepathy. That's right. Anya has the ability to read the minds of people around her. Without letting Lloyd realize what is really going on, Anya knows that Lloyd was a spy and is excited to join the mission. Lloyd takes Anya home and later takes her with him to buy groceries. During all this, Lloyd suddenly realizes that being a parent is hard. Anya also does not make being a parent easy for Lloyd. She also wants to be a spy like her father. Anya tries to follow Lloyd wherever he goes. Although her father catches her snooping around every time, it is a game to her. Finally, Lloyd manages to get away from Anya and heads to a Westalis contact he has named Frankie Frank. Franklin reveals the truth about Anya's past to Lloyd. Anya has been adopted and taken back at least 4 times in the past year. Elsewhere, Anya stumbles upon Lloyd's spy briefcase and accidentally sends a random signal, which is intercepted by Lloyd's enemy. Their leader, Edgar, instantly recognizes that it is from Lloyd. So he sends his henchmen to capture Edgar's henchmen captured Anya and held her captive. Once Lloyd arrives home. He manages to defeat the two men. He then rushes to free Anya by disguising himself as one of the henchmen. With Lloyd's skill, he easily swipes and frees Anya while the other henchmen are distracted. Once Anya is safe, Lloyd goes back in to finish off his enemy. Lloyd then threatens Edgar with a gun to his head. Edgar ever comes after him again, Lloyd will not only kill him but his whole family as well. After that, Lloyd goes out to find Anya. Then they decide that they will find a new house to live in for safety reasons just before Eden's college exam. Both of them became closer. At the entrance exam, Anya panics because she did not study. When she tries to read the minds of those around her, they are just as clueless as her. The only thing she can do now is guessing all the answers. But, unbelievably, she lucks out and passes the entrance exam to Eden School. Elsewhere, a young 27-year-old woman named Yor is looking for a mate like many other young females in the same city. The reason is that her local government has recently prosecuted a high number of single females, believing them to be spies. Later that day, Yor is invited to a house party by her friend. Yor desperately looks for a boyfriend at this point. She even has to lie to her brother, her only living relative, because she does not want him to be concerned. But Yor has another secret. Besides being a regular office worker at the city council during the day, she is also an infamous assassin named the Thorn Princess. She is a contract killer who would assassinate criminals for the greater good of the country. Back at Lloyd's house, Lloyd and Frankie look for candidates to be the perfect wife for Lloyd. A possible option is to hire a spy from back home. But Lloyd decides that he would rather hire someone who is oblivious to his highly sensitive mission. Yet, he does not find the right fit. So, he decides to take Anya to the local tailor's shop. Here, Lloyd meets Yor for the first time. Yor had come to get her dress for the party. When they meet face to face, Lloyd immediately recognizes Yor from one of the files. Yor then asks Lloyd why he is looking at her. Lloyd replies that he looks at her because of how beautiful she is. Upon hearing the flattering comments, Yor immediately wants Lloyd to be her fake boyfriend, and Lloyd has the same idea. But Yor notices that Lloyd is with Anya. She immediately feels ashamed of asking him to be her boyfriend. She did not want to break up any relationships or families for her own gain. While this is going on, Anya is reading Yor's mind and immediately learns that Yor is an assassin. Yor would be a perfect mother to Anya. Anya quickly reveals to Yor that she does not have a mother, which helps Yor gather up the courage to ask Lloyd out. She tells him that he only needs to pretend to be her boyfriend. In exchange, Lloyd asks Yor to be Anya's mother for the Eden College interview. They both happily agreed to the arrangement. But the next day, Lloyd is busy with spy work and cannot go to the party. Yor is appointed, but she does not blame Lloyd. Since Lloyd does not show up, Yor has to go to the party alone. At the party, she is ridiculed by her jealous friends. To Yor's surprise, Lloyd arrives at the party late, bleeding all over. He tells everyone that his patient has gone ballistic during therapy. He announces to everyone in the party that he is Yor's husband. Later, the pair are faced with the henchmen that Lloyd fought with earlier. But, to Lloyd's surprise, Yor can handle them quite easily. Lloyd is impressed with Yor's martial arts skills. The next day, Yor shows up at Lloyd's house. She will now be a part of the Forger family and decide to move in with Lloyd. Now the most complex spy family is complete. Father was a spy, mother an assassin, and daughter a telepath. Since the marriage is fake, Yor and Lloyd sleep in separate rooms in the house. Lloyd asks Frankie to get them a fake marriage certificate. They were supposed to marry 1 year earlier. While Anya shows Yor around the house, Lloyd prepares them both for the Eden College interview tomorrow. But soon Lloyd realizes that both Anya and Yor are not ready for the interview. Frustrated, Lloyd decides that the family needs a break. So, he takes them outside for some fresh air. They go out to eat, then visit a local tailor for new clothes. Lloyd is troubled by the fact that he cannot mold his family into what he wants them to be. He begins to question his judgments, but decides to take things as they come. On their way back, they subdue a local thief to help the people around them. Over the next few days, the family rigorously prepares for the upcoming interview when the time finally comes. The whole family arrives at the school on time for the interview. There are many other competitors for Anya, because Eden College is prestigious for the best and wealthiest students in the city, which includes the children of Donovan Desmond. The school's reputation exceeds itself for being harsh in its selection process. To get in, the Forger family must excel in all areas. As soon as they get to the entrance, the family is monitored. They were judged even before the interview began. As the family makes their way to the front gate, a group of teachers led by Henry Henderson observes them quietly. Henry is quick to eliminate the unfit family. Henry considers elegance to be the most important criteria for being a qualified student at Eden College. For Henry, if a family has elegance, they deserve to be here. If not, they are not worthy. On their way to interview, Lloyd's family stops to pay their respects to Eden College creator. Henry considers this act elegance and starts noticing Lloyd's family. Henry starts a series of tests for Forger's family. First, a child is struck in the gutter and asks for Lloyd's help. Lloyd pulls him out and dirties his clothes in the process. Luckily for him, the family had prepared a spare set of clothes. Henry is impressed, but not entirely convinced yet. So he releases several animals directly in their direction. Lloyd and Yor subdue them quickly. Their clothes are once again dirty, but they have another set to spare. Henry is weirdly impressed by the amount of elegance in Lloyd's family. Finally, it is time for the interview. Everything was going on as planned. However, when the actual interview starts, something goes wrong. One of the interviewers, named Swan, started berating Anya and Yor. Lloyd is losing control. This is highly unlike him. Twilight, aka Lloyd, is always in control. Suddenly, he felt a sense of fatherhood toward them. Lloyd loses his temper and breaks the desk in front of the interviewers. He then leaves with his family. When he comes home, he suddenly realizes that he has put his plan in jeopardy. The whole family feels that Anya probably won't get it now. Everyone in the family can't believe what just happened, especially Lloyd. Nevertheless, the whole family believes that everything will work out, and Anya will get accepted into Eden College. When the day of the results arrives, the family goes back to the school to get the results. Their path to school is full of bad luck. First, the black cat crosses the road in front of them. Then Anya steps on poop. But when they got the results back, Anya had failed. Just as they were about to leave, Henry shows up and tells Lloyd that, although Lloyd's misconduct made Anya fail to get in, she is still on the waiting list. Henderson tells them that if someone gives up their seat for Anya, they will be getting a call later that day. Back at home, the family gets their hopes up and patiently waits for a call. Anya dances around the house for good luck. Suddenly, they get a call. Lloyd picks it up. And Anya got the spot. The next day arrives. The family then goes to get Anya's new school uniform. The tailor then asks Anya what school she is in. When she learns that Anya is accepted at Eden School, she warns Anya about how the school has very mischievous students and bullies. Anya, who did not even want to join the school in the first place, is fully in panic mode. Lloyd assures her that everything will be okay. Later, Lloyd is asking Yor to pick up the dress because he might be a bit late. Then Lloyd goes straight to the correspondent of his country, the handler. The next step he must take is to get close to Desmond. Handler then tells him about how he can get access to that school. There are about 2,500 students at Eden College. The students who are able to shine brightly and show potential to lead are called Imperial students. In order to get to Desmond, Lloyd would need to get Anya to become his son's best friend and get Imperial status. Will Anya be able to achieve that? Please check out Part 2.